Welcome to Immediate Review, where we can't see movies in theaters, but we still review them wherever we are. Honestly, I can't fucking believe that I actually am reviewing this movie right now. I never thought ever that I would review this movie. Like, when we started this, it was just like, Freddy got fingered? Like, no way.
I wasn't even thinking about it.
But yeah, we just saw Freddy Got Fingered. Tom Green's fucking masterpiece.
I mean, the only movie he made, yeah.
So we're joined today by Person A, who
has never seen this movie.
I've seen clips from it, but I've never actually seen
haven't
we
all?
From
haven't we
start
all?
to end.
So you want to go first?
I don't think I can. I'm still processing.
Okay, cool. I guess I'll go first.
Yep, go ahead.
Okay, so Freddy Got Fingered. If you know the movie, you know how absurd it is. So I first saw this movie when I was 11. My dad took me to the theaters to see it. We watched a lot of Tom Green. Anybody who grew up in the 90s and watched MTV watched Tom Green. Did you ever watch it at all?
I watched like a little bit of it, but yeah, I didn't really have. I didn't have cable. Until, like,
did you watch Tom Green show growing up?
Mm-hmm.
I thought my dad and I loved it, and like it was like appropriate for TV, and so my dad was like, "Oh, Tom Green's got a movie, let's go see it." And like my dad had zero qualms with the content. Like even as a kid, I wasn't like, "Yeah, my dad's let me do it." I was like suspicious. Like, like I was just like, "You sure? Is this a test?" Like, but yeah, and so, man, that movie, both when I was a kid, fascinated and traumatized me, and really is a big part of, I don't know why I just didn't watch too many kids movies as a kid. Just like. So my dad showed me shit like that. But so anyways, backstory aside, I've always just seen this movie as just like a stupid, absurd, obnoxious, ridiculous troll just testing the limits of what you can do in the audience. But, I never realized now that, I've grown up a little, this is like a super personal film about authoritarian fathers not believing in his personal dreams of being a comedian and him having to be a loser for so long before actually making it, because he didn't make it until he was like, yeah, I'm 28 years old, Mom. I'm a 28-year-old man. But I was shocked at, actually, I just didn't remember it at all. But there is actually a lot of well-thought emotion through it. But yeah, the movie clearly has strong themes about authoritarian fathers and the negative damage they could do to a family, and it's I actually thought it did a better job of handling like that dynamic than Ad Astra. Like I don't know, I don't really think I can explain it at this moment, but that's really how I feel. Go on.
So yeah, I love this movie. A lot of people are gonna think that like, oh, like this fucking movie, like you guys like this, like, it's like I don't know. I think that the movie is hilarious. It's shot genuinely well, like shot really well, and it's just who were you saying shot it? It was
I don't remember their name, but they did The Blob, Wes Craven's New Nightmare, Scream, a bunch of horror movies, oddly enough, and also a bunch of other comedies like There's Something About Mary, Dumb and Dumber. So an interesting filmography, but yeah, very well shot. It was not a boring, just like tripod still shot. There were dynamic shots and telephoto lens and tracking shots and like
good like stable tracking shots too, for the time.
I was really surprised how good it was. Like when we started the movie, we were kind of joking like, because it's still not available in 1080p, and we were like, it doesn't really need it. And as we're watching it, we're like, maybe it does. There's some cool landscape shots and very stylized shit. But yeah, go on.
So yeah, this like I love this movie. It's one of the pillars of comedy. Like it's as legendary as like Ace Ventura and whatnot. You know, it's on that level. The movie is like, it goes places that you would never expect, and it just like, it plays off of just that shock factor of just like smacking you in the face with something just like completely like societally absurd. Like, you would, if you did this in a normal like situation, people would think there was something like seriously wrong with you. And yeah, just like interacting in day-to-day life, it's similar to like the I think the Eric Andre movie he just made, where he goes around and like pranks people, except this is like, you know, it's all scripted. So it's like they had to, like the storyboard for this movie had to be just fucking insane. I
mean, yeah, maybe they had storyboards.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, but like, man, it just takes situations that you would normally, like, you know, as I'm watching, I've seen this like plenty of times, but it's like every time my mind like blocks out all of the like crazy, like traumatic things that this movie like shows you, and then like as you're introduced to a scene, it'll be like, oh, you know, like, can you please be quiet? This is a hospital room and I'm pregnant, and my face just, oh, right. I remember this scene. And the dread of just like, what horrific, hilarious thing is gonna happen, like, just floods you. And like, person A, like, multiple times was just like, your face, like, was just looking at me, because I'm just like.
My favorite quote for person A throughout the movie was, "Why is this movie? What is this movie?" Come
on. Yeah, and it's just like. It's insane. Like, it takes you on just this roller coaster ride, and you know it. And I personally I appreciate like how it introduces everything to you, because like, you know, there was like, you know, there's the moment, you know, he gets to the farm right after he leaves. What happens
when he grabs the horse stick. It's in the first reel, because this was back when they showed movies on film, so it gives you a good early opportunity to leave. Like, that's what the purpose of that scene is. It's just like, are you ready for this? It's like,
yep.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a perfect introduction to that. It's like, anybody who is not bold enough to stick around is most definitely going to leave once they see the horse dick.
I don't want to give people the wrong impression, though. It's like, if you don't like this movie and don't want to watch it and can't finish it, it's not like, you know, you fucking suck. Or you can't take it.
No, not at all.
Like, there are good reasons to not watch this film.
Yeah, like this movie is vulgar and disgusting. Yeah. Like, but through like and some parts like obscene and horrid. Like some of the shit is like not okay to show. And if it showed today,
I'm shocked that it's not NC-17.
Oh yeah, seriously. Like, some of the shit, the hospital scene for sure. Like, windmilling a baby. Like, come on, man. That is straight 90s.
This could be like indie flick today, but this would not go to theaters. This would not get a wide release.
Fucking way. Like, you know, and like, everybody knew about Tom Green and whatnot, when, you know, it's like everybody saw this. And yeah, it just like, and there are some parts of this movie where it'll cut, and you'll think you're fucking watching a different movie. Like, when he's like takes off on the helicopter, he's like, I'm gonna go see my daddy, and the next scene he's like cutting glass in a fucking like, it's like, what the fuck? Like, person A was literally just like, is this who is did he hire someone to, what is going on?
Yeah, that half the movie I kept looking back at you guys like, what what the fuck? What is going on right now?
Yeah.
What is this movie?
And yeah,
why is this movie?
It just gently takes your hand at the beginning, and then grips it hard
make
and
you
just
proud, Dad.
Proud. You're gonna make your daddy proud. A fucking Rip Torn. He does so good in this movie,
dude.
Man.
He's
like,
fucking freaky. He's amazing.
He goes to another place, and like, him and Tom Green playing off each other is just like, it is cataclysmic. Like, it is on another level. They are just like, so they just both build off of each other until they're both at a fucking 100. And it's like, it is hilarious, like, just how angry he fucking gets. And like, I mean, he with the whole content of the movie, he does a great job. May he rest in peace.
Okay, wait. I'm really sorry to interject, but I just realized why I think this is more convincing as a father-son relationship story than Ad Astra.
Shoot.
Here is my reasoning. And you know, I could be wrong about Ad Astra. I might be making assumptions, but to me, Ad Astra is like a Hollywood movie written by a lot of people who decided these might be cool themes to throw together. This is personal. I think that's what makes it more, at least, convincing for me, is I can tell Tom Green grew up with a difficult, shitty father who, like, may have abused him. And, like, maybe that kid who keeps getting hit in the face represents Tom Green as a child. And because there's the other father who's just like, son, you can have a piece of cake. It's your birthday. And he's like, really? And it's like, dude, this dad doesn't even let his kid eat cake on a normal day. And then it cuts to Leave It to Beaver at one point, and it's showing, like, a scene where the dad's just like, now listen to me, I'm your father, and there's no questions. And just like this is personal. It's a personal film. And, you know, Ad Astra is really gorgeous, but the emotions fell flat for me. Yeah, so there's my reasoning.
So I think it's interesting that you point out that it's personal, because, like, I think that, like, so I'm just gonna I'll say this now. Some of you probably can already tell if you watch, like, our reviews, but comedy is, like, my least favorite genre nowadays, and it used to be my most favorite. Like, I loved funny movies.
Growing up in the 90s
all the time.
Yeah.
Like, it was part of, like, the culture of being a 90s kid, was fucking watching these comedies and laughing your fucking ass off because they're funny, and they're still funny today. Like, Ace Ventura, both of them are still incredibly quotable and are just hilarious movies. And, like, comedies have just taken a downhill for me. Honestly, I think the movie that did it was Click. When I watched that movie, it was around a traumatic time in my life anyway that involves a plot point in that movie, but it was still, like, I felt like that was where comedies started veering away from telling normal stories and telling more of the tragic comedies where it's a funny situation but sad things happen, and it's not just about, like, you know, like, this movie is about him going to like traveling away to LA, failing and coming back, and kind of the interactions that they have in the house and the escalating of their relationship,
failure to launch,
until he finally does make it and whatnot. And, like, you know, I think movies like Ted and whatnot, where, like, they're around some sort of, like, funny guy doing something, and then some sort of tragic things happens to him, and, like, you know, I see that formula so much in comedies nowadays. And, like, you know, the one that you actually got me to watch was Jumanji. We did a review for Jumanji 2, but something
audio fucked up, lost review.
Yeah, but so I did watch both of them, and honestly, it was one of the most refreshing comedies that I'd watched, just because it was taking a different take on, like, video games and stuff versus, you know, like, just being, like, you know, just like, oh, the everyday guy, and, like, he loses his girlfriend and his job, and he's so sad, but he meets somebody, and then they, like, do something, and they laugh, and then everything goes back to normal at the end, or they learn something about it or something. It's like, you know, comedies nowadays,
they're formulaic.
Like, yeah, exactly.
They're a vessel, like, for jokes.
Yeah. And, you know, I feel like, you know, having, like you said, like, it's something personal. He had a platform of a story that he wanted to tell, and then he can lay jokes into it, you know, along with whatever insanity you want to call the rest of the stuff he has in this movie. But yeah, it's like, you know, I feel like the good comedies do something along those lines. Like, Ace Ventura: Pet Detective is literally a movie about him being a pet detective tracking down a missing dolphin before a Super Bowl game or a football game or
It's
something.
not Snowflake.
Yeah,
I love simplistic plots.
It's like there is a sophisticated plot interlaid with all of this ridiculous comedy, and it's built around Ace Ventura as a character.
So
and this is, I think the same kind of the same way, just more, like less practical and more like crazy.
I kind of half agree because I think there have been a lot of good comedies, since this movie came out. However, they definitely don't have the same rewatchability or worth dropping $20 on. Like a lot of comedies in the past like 10 plus years for me have been see it in theaters once or twice, catch it on Netflix. Like there are a lot of really funny movies, but the last one I saw was Like a Boss was probably the best just like straight comedy I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
Nowadays the best way to do it is to mix genre, but I don't know, enough about.
I mean, the last comedy I watched was Stuber.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So, Person A, you ready?
Where do I begin? So I knew a lot of what was coming up from clips that I'd seen out of context, and like hearing Dakota describe the movie, certain scenes in the movie.
And you were just like, I need to see this.
And I didn't know how they all fit together, and the answer is they don't really. They just kind of happen.
Yeah.
A lot of things in this movie just kind of happen. And what I got from it is his, like, Tom Green's character, Gordon in this.
Gordon,
yes. Gord.
It's my cat's name, by the way.
Gordo. He just, people will tell him things and he'll take it literally.
You need to just eat or play some music while you draw? How am I supposed to do that?
You want me to do it at the same time? Or you need to get inside the animals?
Gordy, you want to be a real animator? You got to get inside the animals.
It just gets taken to a literal comedic extreme that's like bizarre. In like the next scene, it'll just cut to, yeah, it's all like hilarious, but like in a weird, bizarre, like I'm laughing, but I don't know why.
It's the irreverence.
Most of this movie is just like I'm laughing and I don't know why.
It's Monty Python on steroids, is what it is.
It's the absurdity.
Yeah, it's so absurd. It's like
Monty Python was all about just like randomness,
and
it's funny.
Like I don't know, the fact that somebody greenlit him actually.
Tom Green was
Jackie
huge.
off a horse.
Like
The fact that somebody greenlit him swinging a baby around
and
by
gave him creative control.
Yeah.
God bless him.
Because you were a little younger, but like Tom Green was huge in the late '90s, early 2000s. Like.
Oh yeah, no, I remember him being huge.
Yeah, okay,
but
cool.
I mostly remember him as Drew Barrymore's boyfriend.
Yeah.
Or husband.
The Chaz.
Yeah, no, he was like
the Chad.
He was like comedian, like TV show host.
But yeah,
I was never allowed to watch his stuff.
Yeah.
Keep going. Sorry for interrupting. What else did you think?
So yeah, I was definitely not allowed. This was taboo when I was a kid. It's kind of hard to like objectively, I think, scrutinize the comedy and all of that in this. I'd say if you find it funny, if it makes you laugh, cool. If you get to the horse dick scene and you're just like, I'm out, then that's cool too, because the rest of the movie's not going to get much better from that. There's not. I mean, at least it has a story arc that completes. And there's a message that seems apparent, and like,
I see what you did there.
This is stuff like, yeah.
Apparent.
Stuff like, comes back around and all of that. So there's some storytelling elements to it, but it is really random and bizarre and weird. So if it makes you laugh, great, and if it doesn't, I can understand why. It's fucked up and weird and gross at times.
Oh, sorry. Go on.
And I still, just the thing with his brother is the thing that I just can't get over.
I had one thing that I wanted to add before we get into a list. I just like, I think that one thing that makes it so funny is just how matter of fact Tom Green is, and how he approaches these insane situations, and how quickly his mind goes to that. Like the way that they edit it, you know, like a normal person you can imagine, like the cheese factory scene is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know, you can imagine somebody sitting there and they put, 40, maybe even hundreds of slices of cheese, and then they go crazy, right? He puts
like 3.
one. It's like he puts one down and like goes to put the next one, maybe puts that one down, and just immediately just starts crawling on the conveyor belt. Like the fact it happens so quickly that's where his mind goes. And like, like little stuff like where, he first meets Drew Barrymore and he's like, oh yeah, I'm a police officer. Linda's dead. I thought we could bond over the dead Linda. The next scene when we see him going after he's in a police suit, and it's like the comedy's well thought out.
I was almost expecting him during that scene to go up to the guy when he's asking for Dave Davidson to be like, "Your Linda's dead. Your Linda's dead." By the way, here are my comics.
Yeah.
I want to be an animator. After
that's the thing. It's so unpredictable, though.
It's so unpredictable. And I think that's too part of the reason that I was laughing is because I was just like, "Are you fucking kidding? Is this really happening? Is this really happening?" And then stuff that I expected to I was like, okay, the nail gun, not all the nails are in there, so his friend's gonna go to skateboard and get impaled on the nails, right? No. Instead, his friend breaks his fucking leg, starts screaming. His dad comes out, screams at him to get a job.
Throws the skateboard and hits his leg.
And then Tom Green's over there licking his exposed.
Yep.
It's funny because it makes no sense. Like Anthony Michael Hall says, it makes no sense. It makes no sense.
He's a cat. He can see through wooden doors. He's a superhero. And the beavers are angry.
It makes no sense.
Yeah, the beaver's yelling at the other beaver.
There's a bunch of eyes. They're baboon eyes.
The banana wants the job, and the guy's like, "You got the job."
What?
You got the job.
What?
It's like, dude, foreshadowing.
The only stuff that I couldn't laugh at was the horse.
Yeah.
But it comes full circle at the end. Literally comes full circle.
Just the animal dick thing I did not find funny. I was just like, what?
I mean,
Also, can we talk about Tom Green never using gloves for things that you need to use gloves for?
I think that's part of the joke.
Yeah,
it's so
to deliver the baby and make the sandwiches.
Deliver the baby, make the sandwiches, and he makes sandwiches at different places in a factory
gloves.
without gloves, where other people have gloves on. Everybody else in the factory has gloves on. Not Tom Green.
And there's so much sandwich comedy in this. Like when he drives by and back by the farm and he sees the horse mount the other horse, and he just starts pulling out sandwiches and stuff in his
It cuts from a handheld sandwich that he's eating to he's got a tray.
Why? There is no answer to the why. That's why I started laughing.
It's so fucking funny.
It just baffles. It defies all explanation.
Oh my god.
You watch it, you're like, I want to see Tommy Wiseau direct Tom Green in something.
Oh my god.
I really do. And then I want to see Tom Green direct Tommy Wiseau in something, because that would be masterful. The two Tommies. I want to see Tommy Green, Tom Wiseau. Please.
The predictable versus the unpredictable.
Can you imagine Tom Green doing his own version of the "Oh Hi Doggy" scene? Yes.
It would be epic.
All right, your list.
You want to go through the list? We haven't gone through the list in a while.
Yeah.
But let's do it for Freddy Got Fingered. We didn't,
I know,
we
right?
didn't
The
even
most-
do it for Eyes Wide Shut.
The most prestigious film.
I mean, because every time I was just like, oh, like, yeah, the cinematography, you were for like, oh, the cinematography was good. In Eyes Wide Shut. In a Kubrick film, really?
I know,
Lighting
right?
was good?
I know, right? It's just true, man.
Did you guys start talking
We talked about the
the
talked about-
bathroom thing?
Bathroom thing.
Oh, we didn't.
Oh, bathrooms are so
Stanley
important.
Kubrick uses bathrooms to convey terror and bad things that are going to happen and a lot of other stuff. Look it up.
Bathrooms are significant in Kubrick films.
All right. So,
And also the way the cinematography is in
constructive criticism. I have no notes for this movie. It's perfect the way it is. There's even a scene where Drew Barrymore and Tom Green are having a conversation, and there's two random shots where it's duplicated footage that's significantly downgraded and discolored from the rest of the shots, and it's like, who cares? It's just like, I don't know. It's great. Even there was a point where Peter was just like, oh man, they don't even know how to end it. And it's like, oh yeah, it goes on for too long. But then there's someone in the holding a sign, when is this movie gonna end? And it's like, brilliant. But yeah, you guys got any constructive criticism?
I'll throw it to person.
They should have acknowledged the fact that everyone would have totally thought that the neighbor across the street was beating his kid. Because of how many accidents and how many obvious bruises the kid had on his face. And when he's out to dinner, it really does look like he's like getting punched in the face.
The makeup for the kid, and he's such a good actor. He's
such a good actor. Like,
that's what traumatized me as a little boy.
Yeah, no, and they should have acknowledged that, like, because they have the cops come and take his, like, and that's the thing, the cops come and take his brother away, not his dad. When his dad gets accused of,
And you notice
Freddy,
when they
take Freddy away to an institution.
the institution for sexually molested children.
and you notice when they
take
cut
his
back.
dad away.
You notice when they cut back to it, Freddie was still there with a beard,
Yeah, with
just
the beard
like
and long hair, just
just-
like them. Yeah,
Yep.
He's been in his own kind of prison. But they don't arrest the dad. But then, like, nobody acknowledges the guy across the street. Like, I was waiting for the cops to, like, approach him.
Exactly. Anything you think will happen won't happen in this movie.
But yeah, the whole time I just kept thinking, damn, like, the questions that guy's got to get, and he's got to explain it, and the way he explains it, it's totally going to sound like that's exactly what happens in those situations. Oh, he got hit with this. Oh, he fell down and tripped on the stairs. Oh, he got hit with a car door. I'm like, what? Like, oh my God.
In the face with champagne, and then ran into a jet plane fan.
Like, what the hell?
Yeah, he was slaughtered by the end of the movie.
And that's how it ends.
Yeah, he
It
was
ends with
Raiders of the Lost Ark. That's
what
what happened.
It ends with that poor kid getting killed by propellers,
Yep,
and
airplane
then
propellers.
bam, Slim Shady.
Okay, so themes and meaning. Do you want to comment further on
I
the
think
themes?
you already kind of covered it.
We talked about it.
Yep, cool. Directing, man, I want to see behind the scenes footage of Tom Green telling people what to do and how to react and what's going to happen. Did he even tell them?
No.
I don't know anything about the production.
He must have like told them, because there's so many scenes where he's doing crazy shit and nobody's reacting.
Okay, old lady. This is where I'm gonna get on the conveyor belt and I'm gonna hold the sausage in my
And
and I'm
you're not
gonna
gonna
roll
react.
towards you and I'm gonna go ding dong, ding dong, and I want you to let the sausage touch your face, but then kind of get out of the way, but not too fast.
And you're not gonna react. The most important thing is for everyone.
Okay,
in
let's
the
run.
scene to
Let's
act
run through it one
like this is
time. Ding
normal.
dong, ding dong.
And this is his first day on the job, and he like immediately goes home.
Yep.
And did you guys mention that this is supposed to take place in Port? Like he's
Yeah, Portland, Oregon. We go there all the time. And yeah,
So
there's a
he's
scene when
definitely
he
keeping Portland weird.
there's a scene when he goes to the second sandwich shop to get a job, and he's like walking through the rain with like no umbrella, and I was like, that's how you know he's from Portland.
And it looks like they actually shot it there too. I saw pine trees and like the neighborhoods and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Could have
Oh,
been.
yeah.
Could be wrong though.
I mean, there had to be some scenes shot there, but
At
some
least
of it was
Oregon-
shot in LA.
Oregon or Washington.
So, writing, I feel like there is a script, but there's also a heavy amount of improv.
There's so much improv.
Okay, you know what? No, all the random big moments, like anything that's like a skit, because I think the random crazy shit basically represents his show, his real talent. Like in the movie, he's an animator. That's not, or maybe Tom Green does that. I don't know. I should have looked this shit up before.
For Freddy Got Fingered, you wanted to do research.
I should
For the
have.
Freddy Got Fingered.
I
review.
didn't realize how much respect we'd be giving it. But yeah, I wanna. Yeah, I don't know. What do you two think about the writing?
I mean, yeah, I kind of agree with you. I think it's written well. I think it's written hilariously. But I think that I like especially the like the beginning where he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna, I'm X-ray cat. I see, like I think a lot of that is just him like winging it, just doing it because he's so fucking funny. I feel like he could do that and have like make takes that are just so ridiculous and so funny that I feel like he could come up with it, like, and it's so random too that like it's hard to be like, oh yeah, like somebody wrote this out in a script. It seems like he just got in front of the camera and did things and they picked like the most
but there are a lot of
stuff,
conversations that I doubt are improv because they're reinforcing
The
themes in the movie.
observation line
Yeah, that's
was
like I
definitely
said at the beginning. It is well written. But yeah, the comedy stuff. I think when it gets into like the crazy scenes, like when he's wearing a deer skin on the highway and kind of rolling around and doing stuff. I think some of that
That's
is
improv.
like mostly like improv and like just kind of him expressing himself.
I loved in the outtakes. He's just like, "What the fuck am I doing?" Just like angrily walks away.
Now I'm stinky.
So, Person A, any comments on the script writing?
No.
No. Okay. Cool. Acting. Everyone does a really good job in this
really good
movie.
job.
They took it seriously.
I think Drew Barrymore is the one you could tell is just like
Like trying
so
not to-
close to breaking character. And she's just like, fuck you! You are a skinny! Like, just like she just is so close to like breaking character. That like that scene with when he's like explaining that like Linda is dead to her is my favorite
my
scene
God.
in the movie. It's so funny.
We all love Linda.
we all loved Linda.
We do love Linda.
What do you want to get?
We could go talk about the dead Linda, the dead woman, the dead woman. We could bond over that.
woman.
Oh my god.
God.
So the woman who plays Betty, wow, she's hilarious. She's in Super Troopers. I don't think I've seen her in anything else, but yeah, she's really fucking funny in this.
Sometimes
As the
as a handicapped girlfriend.
rocket scientist who's building a rocket powered wheelchair and likes getting whipped in the legs with bamboo sticks.
Sometimes I forget that is actually a part of this movie. Like when it gets to that point and it's like, oh, she's in a wheelchair. Like when you see her pull away, my heart, like again, like Person A was talking about my face. Like it was like when she pulled away in the
You're like,
wheelchair, it was just.
oh. That's what's coming up.
Honestly, I think
That
the
whole
movie
scene.
surprisingly treats the whole scenario with a lot of respect, and
No,
With
it does, but
the
it's.
exception of her being oddly assaultive towards.
oh no, but
She's pretty rapey.
But I mean, in terms of just like she's a sympathetic character. The movie's never like just in the fucking wheelchair. Oh, what are we?
oh yeah.
There's a part where the dad walks up and is like, cripple her, and
and
the
there's a
scene is
huge
meant
fight-
to
there's a
like
huge
sympathize
fight
with
over
her.
it. Yeah.
And so, like, shockingly enough, like, it's actually for this movie a very respectful fucking portrayal.
Well, and even in the next scene, she doesn't even comment about the fact that that he calls her a cripple. He's like, he called me a raging slut whore. I don't think that he likes me very much. and then he's just like, oh no, that was little Timmy.
That was little Timmy. This is little Timmy. What did you think about the performances, personally?
I mean, for the movie that it was, they were good.
They were great.
What do you mean by that? This is a real Hollywood movie.
Real Hollywood movie. Yeah, Anthony Michael Hall's amazing. I don't know. His mom looked so familiar.
She is really familiar.
I can't remember what she's
actress.
from. I'm gonna look at.
She's in like Will Ferrell movies and stuff like that. She's played like.
I'm looking it up right now.
She's usually like the mom.
Talk about the acting while I look it up.
But yeah, so I really like the rocket scientist chick. I think she does a great job. She's gorgeous in general, and I do think they handle the fetish thing like really well.
She's really upfront about it.
Yeah,
She's like, I've got some fetishes.
Yeah,
She doesn't hide it. She's not ashamed of it. They
oh my God, she's Elaine in Airplane.
Oh my God, yes!
That's incredible.
Yeah, she was also in Anchorman 2, I'm pretty sure. Or wait, no. Maybe.
She's somebody's mom in something.
New Girl.
New Girl?
She's in New Girl, apparently.
Is she? Whose mom is she?
I didn't. She's credited as Nancy. Julie Haggerty. Yeah, she's hilarious. Anyways, acting.
Yeah. So yeah, she does a great job too. I love her scenes with Shaq.
Yes,
just like I would go have sex with basketball
I'd
players.
fulfill all your sexual fantasies, Mom.
You can see on her face, like she does the actress. She's such a good job of like acting like yes, you're describing all the things I want, and also you're my son. Stop saying that. And also I'm married to your father. Stop saying that. I can't.
But your father's a pedophile.
And I can't. Oh.
You wanna fuck me, Gordon?
Fuck me.
Get over here and fuck me.
I found the buried treasure! That's not a fucking buried treasure!
That's soap on a rope. I'm pretending it's buried treasure. Sucking treasure.
Toilet. My God.
Get out of my wetsuit.
And like,
oh no, the treasure fell into that cave.
and it's like Tom Green is just like it's just like he's so like just like a kid having fun.
Yeah, it's
like I feel like he took some inspiration from either his own childhood or the childhood he wishes he had. He's like, oh, I wanted to do that as a kid and I never got to do it. I'm doing it now as an adult.
Oh yeah, skateboard through a mall and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's like
to do the snorkel in the bathroom and pretend to find buried treasure. There's so many
That's interesting. Yeah, man, it's just solidifying that this was personal for him. This was close to home.
Yeah.
We already talked about the cinematography. It's just they use as many. I think they knew that this movie's so absurd that it needs to have style. It needs to be a real Hollywood movie. They knew the shots couldn't be stagnant. They couldn't just they had to have interesting, dynamic shots in order to legitimize the film.
And they had great effects in it. There was
that's the next topic.
There was they did lots of frame holds, time remapping, work with color grading for different scenes.
Filters. They didn't have color. It was the early days of color grading. So yeah.
I mean, if it's on film, then it's
they still color graded film. They did that for Lord of the Rings, but color grading was state of the art at that point. It probably used filters, but yeah.
So it does. It's got the soundtrack is excellent.
It's punk rock as shit.
Yeah.
I haven't watched this movie since I was in high school and got into punk rock, and I'm just like, I know all these fucking songs. What the fuck? And not from the movie. I don't know. I didn't remember they were in it.
Yeah, and it's just the cinematography is really good, and You know, it's edited well. While the pacing of the movie, like scene to scene, is very sporadic. Like, because things just, like Person said, things just kind of happen. But it is edited well for what it is. Like, it does go from scene to scene and event to event. It's not, you know, all over the place. It's all over the place, like plot and conceptually wise. But editing and cinematography, it's very clean.
Yep, it is. It really is. Yeah. Sydney? Or fuck. Cut. Person A, you got any comments on the cinematography?
Nah, man.
Okay.
I don't know all the fancy. I noticed some fancy things. I don't know the fancy terms for them.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
It had a very
cool.
90s yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Next question.
So yeah, the special effects. I would say the most impressive special effect they have is balancing a fucking part of a house on a iron beam on a truck, driving it through the fucking desert. Like, and then Tom Green did the Charlie Chaplin homage with the house falling on him, standing in the window. Have you ever seen that shot before?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he paid homage to that. I thought that was fucking clever as shit. Yeah, what other good effects were they? They had like real explosions in the outtakes. That like fucking they were way too close to the explosion, and they almost got hit with debris.
Oh yeah, like like big wooden shrapnel like flies right fucking by Tom Green and Rip Torn. I mean, little Timmy.
Little Timmy. The leg effect, obviously. The makeup on the little boy is
all the blood on him like coming out of his mouth and whatnot looked really good.
Yeah, the special effects are fucking top notch. Person A, any comments on the effects?
I just want to know how they did the sausages.
The intricate system.
Daddy, would you like
sausage?
some sausage? Daddy, would you like some sausages? Daddy, would you like some sausage?
It just like I'm sure it's something that could be recreated, and it's probably like it just seems like it would take so long to set up.
He figured out a way to eat and draw at the same time. He's a fucking genius. So the sound design, they do a couple good gags with the sound design with the helicopter.
Yeah, for the most part, sounds pretty good. I mean, it's standard movie
it's
sounds.
Standard
like
comedy.
Music's loud, vocals are a little quieter, and so, you know, yeah. But, yeah, for the most part, it's pretty good, and I love the soundtrack. And, yeah, there's no real part where you're just like, oh, like, the sound's, like, a little weird here. It's like, every time the sound's weird, it's purposeful, so it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, music is the next. This whole soundtrack was just punk rock shit that I must have subconsciously, because, I haven't seen this movie since I was probably like 15, and that was before I got into punk rock. And I watched it all the time before that, though. But I legitimately do not remember, even in high school, knowing that these songs were in the movie. And like later, I discovered all of them. And so it was kind of weird for me. But satisfying, because I guess when I was in high school, first watching it as a little kid, it was just background music to me. It wasn't like stuff I recognized, and I'm paying attention to the jokes and whatnot. Music comments.
Soundtrack was pretty decent.
Yeah.
Punk fucking rock.
Punk rock.
Punk fucking rock.
I love they played Green Day's Blood, Sex, and Booze right after she's like, well, I've got a couple fetishes on the TV. And then immediately starts into Green Day's fetish song. Editing, we talked a bit about that. Yeah, super cohesive, well edited. Cuts are nice. All that jazz. Some good montages.
The way it's edited too really lends to the randomness of everything, where it's like, this is just happening now. It's just happening. What is happening? Like, this is a movie where you could, like, get up to go to the bathroom, come back, and be like, am I still watching the same fucking movie? This is the way it's edited.
Oh, I walked in the wrong theater. yeah, overall the set design, it's like a nice little neighborhood, and there's restaurants. The restaurant was a really good set. Yeah, I just
the animator's office as well. The
Oh,
whole
yeah, yeah.
kind of office thing is pretty cool.
Oh, the best. I the tracking shot with him and Drew Barrymore was
fantastic.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, really good. Good office. I don't know if they probably designed it that way for it to be that interesting. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I gotta. All these movies that we aren't seeing this year, man. These are all I'm seeing all the trailers from. I missed the movie theater. God damn it! I hate this shit. I'm fucking at home watching movies and reviewing them because, man, it's so much better when we get out of the movie and do this, man. I don't know. Anyways.
Well, that was a sad turn. But yeah, what else is there to say about this movie? It's great.
Freddy got fingered.
Freddy did
I
get
think
fingered.
we did it. Okay, what does everybody think the most shocking and ridiculous, most likely to turn people off scene is?
I'd say
the horse.
The horse.
I'd say I mean the horse is pretty extreme, but like that one didn't really hit me.
You made a point that it's like that's what they do on the farm.
Yeah, it's like, you know, like, yeah, you see that. I lived on a ranch most of my life. You know, I've seen you see horse dick when you're around horse. Like they got big dicks. It's like they get erect. You see them. It's like you can't help it. So you just get used to it. You can't go over and like smack it and be like, get back. Get that dick away. Put that dick away.
No,
you know,
it's like it's because he goes up and he touches it with his bare hands, and he starts shaking it around, and he's not even like jerking it off. He's just
when you've stood right next to a horse and helped them balance while that horse like just fucks the living shit out of another horse, it's like you kind of get over seeing somebody grab a horse dick. Like, you know what I mean? I've seen guys grab pig dicks.
That's exactly why it got past the censors, because like he like you said, he like holds it in one spot, and like
it's less of a jerky motion, more of like he shakes it and it like flops.
I think it's because I think the moment he slides his hand, it becomes a whole different movie, and so it had to be in the context of
it would be like,
how hard did he fight for. How did this get released with an R rating? I'm genuinely surprised. Like, even it's like not even back then. Like American Pie had softer scenes that were in the unrated cut. I just like, who the fuck did, I don't know. It's crazy to me that this isn't NC-17 or that we didn't watch the unrated cut or something. Like it's the theatrical version. It's crazy. But yeah, continue arguing.
So mine for the most shocking is the hospital scene where he goes into the room to see
Harlan
Williams, and there's a pregnant woman in there, and she starts giving birth, and instead, like this scene does the most extreme roller coaster ride of tone that I think I've ever seen in a scene. Like it goes from like caring for his friend to like she's super pissed that like they won't shut up to her going into labor, him refusing to call a doctor and I am a doctor, so impersonating a doctor, and now basically just like, all right, let's open those legs up. Now
I think I see the problem here.
Yeah, it's like now there's a whole nother level. The woman is literally screaming no while he's pulling, like this is like it's not okay. All right? And we're only like a third of the way through it. Okay, so the baby starts coming out. Oh, I see the problem here. It starts going in, and the baby, like she starts giving birth and whatnot. Okay, baby comes out. He catches it. It's like, you know, okay, and then she's like, why isn't the baby breathing? Or no, it's like you got to cut the umbilical cord. And so he puts it in his mouth and just rips it apart.
Dude, that's what I found out about umbilical cords as a kid.
like and the blood spurts fucking everywhere. Great effects, but disgusting.
Oh yeah, we forgot to mention the effects in that. Yeah, they're really good.
And then
the deer looked great. Sorry.
And then the mom is like, "Why is my baby crying?" He's like, "Oh, your baby's not crying? You want to see your baby cry?" And just fucking umbilical cord windmills this thing, sprays blood all over the entire fucking room, over everybody's face. There's these Indian women like banging on trombones, while she's screaming and fucking, and then
Harlan Williams is just like,
just getting blood everywhere, and then the baby starts crying,
and it's like,
the music stops and the piano gets all happy, and he hands her the baby, and it's just like this magical moment. It is just tonally insane. It goes from like illegal impersonation of a doctor to like insinuated rape, fucking like forced birth, essentially. Like not forced, but like he's not the one, she's okay, like giving consent to deliver this thing. It's like, you know, unconsensual deliverer, I guess. And then to straight up like dead baby, like spinning around a room, throwing blood everywhere, and then a nice happy moment with beautiful piano of a baby and her mother.
That's how they got past the censors, man. Like if that baby died, it probably would have been NC-17, but it's like the baby's okay. I saved the day. I saved the day.
I guess the people here hate heroes.
Man, Jesus Christ.
So that is my vote for the most like offensive, horrific scene that will make you not want to watch this movie. You should still watch it, but if you can't handle it, like,
I guess when you when you lay it all out like that.
You had one sentence. You had like a dissertation.
I'm gonna jump ship, but I'm just gonna say that mine is really early on. So
it's true. It's a taste. Like it's like here like we're gonna crank it up to 9, but there's a 10 coming.
There's an 11 coming based on your dissertation.
But yeah, all in all, I this movie's hilarious.
It is. It is so just misunderstood genius. I don't know. Like Tom Green is like an Andy Kaufman of sorts. Just like total I guess Andy Kaufman on steroids. He's just got so much in your face energy, but at the same time his sense of humor is so childlike. Like. I don't even know. The jokes, like, there are a good chunk of, like, G-rated jokes throughout this movie. And then it just, I don't know. It's,
Yeah, there's a spectrum. It definitely escalates to, like, from obscene,
dude,
like, his sense of humor is,
you
like,
could make,
broad.
like, a PG-13 cut of this movie. It'd be short. But, like,
yeah.
Because PG-13, you can get it feature length, I think. But,
yeah, that's about all I got to say about this movie, honestly. Yeah. Like, this review went on way longer than I thought it was going to. Like, I did not expect to go this in depth. Like you said, like, I guess just, like, praise it as much as we are, you know? It's like, yeah, it's just, yeah, check this movie out if you haven't. If you haven't heard of this movie, let us know, because I know a lot of people haven't. Not a lot of people know about Tom Green.
And if you made it this far, you're probably like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? No, I can't explain it. It's such a personal and passionate film that doesn't feel like it's cynical or being shitty, or I can't explain it. Like, I'm kind of fascinated by Tom Green's brand of just humor. It's crazy. That's crazy. Okay. Unleash the fury. That's from Road Trip. But